When America agreed to take in thousands of Afghan refugees, it was with the understanding that they would be thoroughly vetted before being resettled across the country. Turns out that's simply not happening. According to Reuters, at least 700 Afghan refugees have just walked off the U.S. military bases where they were being temporarily housed without completing the resettlement process. Not only are these migrants now unaccounted for, but this exposes a major crack in this administration's vetting and resettlement system. Joining me now is Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher. Congressman, I certainly am sure that you're concerned about this news regarding the vetting process. You know, I can't imagine that it's all that surprising, though, given how much this entire process has been botched from the beginning.
Unfortunately, not surprising at all. We have one of these bases in Wisconsin, Fort McCoy. I visited a few weeks ago, and a few things shocked me. The first is that, at least at the time when there was a few thousand there, I asked, well, how many SIV holders do you have here? Because you'd think, after American citizens, those would have been our highest priority to get out of the country. The Afghans who fought with us, work with us. It was zero. We had zero SIVs at that time. And secondly, it was apparent that by the time they got there, they'd already been given 2-year parolee status once they get to the port of entry, usually in Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C. And then 3, they have no way to stop them from just walking off the base. And now we've learned that 2 gentlemen, Afghan refugees that were at Fort McCoy, have been charged with assault and engaging in sexual acts with a minor. So this is unsurprising because the whole withdrawal has been an absolute fiasco, a fact that was confirmed to me in the hearing we had this week with General Austin, General Milley, and General McKenzie, where all 3 gentlemen tried to spin this as a success or make meaningless distinctions like it was a strategic failure but a logistical success. If this is what success looks like, what the heck does failure look like? This has been a fiasco from start to finish.
You know, part of the thing that I'm talking about this week is about the degradation of faith in American institutions. Institutions that used to unite us in feeling proud of what we offer as a country, proud of what we represent to the world. And I think of no institution where this can prove more damaging than the U.S. military. Why is it that the military has become something that where we used to be able to, trust it, have faith in it, believe that it was going to be able to execute what needed to be executed and win wars, to one that now seems to be just another political football?
Well, I think when it comes to the rank and file, those young Marines, soldiers, sailors, and airmen who are usually at the tip of the spear, we actually have incredible people in our military doing a difficult and dangerous job on our behalf. I think the problem is in our general and flag officer class because we tend to promote politicians and not warfighters. And that's a huge problem with a broken personnel management system in DoD, as well as the fact that some of our elite, quote unquote, elite war colleges aren't actually teaching warfighting or the history of warfighting. They've just become sort of civilianized master's degree granting programs. So we have a massive problem with how we groom those officers who show the most potential to end up being 4-star generals one day. And then you have increasing politicization of those people wearing stars on their shoulders. It's a huge problem. And recent polling coming out confirms that Americans who used to have an overwhelming faith in the military are starting to view it as more of a politicized institution.
Quickly, Congressman, what can we do to get rid of this dead weight, to get rid of this problem? I mean, we can talk about a BRAC for generals, but how else are we going to get rid of some of these folks with stars on their uniforms who really are, it seems like, not serving the institution well?
Well, a few things. I mentioned the war college problem. I do think we need to completely reform our entire war college, and so only the best of the best get to go, and they actually practice how do you deter China from invading Taiwan in the most stressing national security scenarios. The second is it really is actually bigger than any one personality who's controversial like General Milley. It's this entire diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucracy that is being built within the Pentagon, and we are going to have to, when we take back the House, go through all of that and dismantle it because it's actually harmful to unit cohesion. The military has to be a pure meritocracy, and if you start to view everything through the prism of race, you're going to start to really screw up our ability to fight and win wars. And that's the final thing. Our North Star when it comes to the military has to be the ability to fight and win wars. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, Congressman. Very important work. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.